And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a Beyond the Summit presentation of the iLeague Season 3 Dota 2 Chinese qualifiers. Here in the group stage, we've got Game 2 of a 2-game series. That's CDEC Gaming versus Braveheart. Braveheart putting on a clinic in Game 1 off of the back of some incredible Invoker plays. 86, you have just earned a place in my heart because that was just absolutely incredible. Really good movement from this Invoker early on. I mean, yes, they kind of walked into it a little bit, but oftentimes you look at a Wex Invoker and you're like, well, yeah, he's got some good utility, but he really doesn't do damage. You don't have to be afraid, but the way he moved, the way he played, the assistance he got from his teammates to put him in a position to win, they did so much work, and that was a really, really impressive set of moves from 86 and for Braveheart as a whole. And we're actually not seeing Invoker banned out just yet. I think it'll be a Phase 2 ban, though. I think CDEC will look to take it out of the picture here for Phase 2. They were looking to counterplay against it if they picked it up early, but since it is going to be Braveheart going for their kind of all-around traditional draft of Centaur and now Bristleback, I'm pretty sure they're going to take it out for their next one, but we'll see. So right now the initial bans were the Undying and the Batrider, very tough heroes to go up against the 6.84. CDEC just took out Queen Pain and Spiritbreaker, frustrating gankers with good abilities that pierce through magic immunity, but still, I would say ones that are easier to manage than the Centaur. The Centaur has caused them some real issues last game. The Stampede is so good against Lifestealer, and yet they picked Lifestealer into it. So I guess that was because he was one of the few carries that doesn't get Blink's hoof stomped, and that works out pretty well. Along with that, he was up against like 3 strength heroes, and he wanted to eat their HP pools as quickly as he could. But in the end, I don't know if it was the right call against that Stampede, and man, that Invoker, it just outshines everything. But we're going to see the Ancient Apparition Man and the Phantom Lancer taken out as well. Phantom Lancer looking really good this patch too, but it's not just this patch. Like, he actually didn't get touched at all this patch, other than Power Treads, like, got +1 agility. That's about it. +1 stats on Power Treads is probably the biggest change for him. Like, he isn't that much more powerful. It's just that he was already OP in 6.83, and now that the Sniper, the Troll, that kind of stuff gets nerfed out, he gets his time to shine. But we're going to see the ban coming out from CDEC. It's going to be the Night Stalker and the Brewmaster. Obviously, that support Night Stalker played a pretty good role that last game. And they're afraid of 86 Brew more than they are 86 Invoker. So they're going to put Lina here, perhaps in the mid lane, to match up against the Invoker, see how well she can fare, and see what they can do. But I will mention that CDEC very frequently run Q on the support Lina instead. So it could be Garter Q running Rubik Lina, though Garter generally goes for the tankier supports, just kind of strength supports, and obviously that wouldn't be the duo that you're looking at. So, Vengeful Spirit coming in for Phase 2 here, just amping up that physical damage. They could go for a Shadow Fiend lineup here pretty easily, I think. Go Bristleback, Vengeful Spirit, Shadow Fiend, and suddenly you've got all that negative armor, you've got a lot of physical damage, got a lot of potential to take some objectives.
5 seconds remaining.
But CDEC going to look to answer back here. They know that they're going to be looking at quick jumps, initiation from the opposition. Centaur and Venge are going to be just extending their reach with their ultimates and with the Centaur's Blink and looking for those pickoffs. They need heroes to react with quickly. If they were looking for another support to go with the Rubik, I'd say Earthshaker would be pretty good. But really anybody that can just deal with tough scenarios here. Axe will most likely be the off lane. Rubik, Lina the supports, unless they do give Shiki the Lina for the mid lane. Shiki used to play a lot of Strovan Sniper, so I feel like that might be a weak link here, is that Shiki played a lot of the meta in 6.83, and now that that's all been nerfed down, he doesn't have as many high play potential heroes to go with. He could still go for the Templar Assassin, but no, they're going with something different, and I love it, guys. Ursa is one of the big badasses of 6.84. For those that don't know about his Enrage, I think I can highlight it. If it does, okay, the box won't show, so I'll do this. Enrage. Ursa goes into a frenzy, multiplying his Furious Swipe's damage and causing him to take 80% less damage. It removes any existing debuffs, and it multiplies his Furious Swipe's damage output by 2 to 3 as he skills it up. It lasts 4 seconds, costs no mana, and goes from a cooldown of 50 seconds to 40. This ability can allow you to 4-shot enemy carries. This guy can take somebody down within 2 seconds flat. It is incredible what Ursa can do. in this game. Ursa is now kind of a glass cannon that still kind of has to build tanky, but he's still able to do so much as this super agility core hero, and I have actually had some fun with a friend playing Ursa Wisp. I feel like the one big issue for Ursa now is he does get kited, and Centaur is going to be stampeding away, so they might have some difficulty, but if Ursa can find his target and stay on his target, say with the help of the Axe Berserker's Call, people are going to melt. Faces are going to melt. Ursa is going to be chomping at the bit to try to bring somebody down, and wow, I'm actually really excited to see more and more Ursa. I mean, yes, it sucks to be against that hero that is overfarmed and overpowered and just overwhelming you, but I think it's really fun to spectate and obviously fun to play. So we're going to see it here in the hands of Aggressive. I think that's a really good fit for his playstyle. He really likes to get in the thick of things, fight earlier rather than farm, and I think that that's going to work out pretty well for him.
10 seconds remaining. 5
So
seconds
yeah,
remaining.
I am pumped for the Ursa pick. What do they go with it for though? I think
Dire team
they
battle.
could afford to go Lina mid and then go for a Wisp support. Anything with disables, really. You don't necessarily need Wisp to give them the movement speed, attack speed, and durability if all of your enemies are stunned. So anything with good control. Pretty much, Ursa does all the damage you need, so all you want is
10
disabled.
seconds
They could go mid Lina and go for an Enigma, for example. That wouldn't be too bad. Not
5
ideal
seconds
against
remaining.
Vengeful Spirit. Sometimes against Witch Doctor it's annoying, but I think they could still make it work.
Reserve time.
CDEC do end up respectfully banning out the Invoker, but I don't know if Braveheart are too brokenhearted. They obviously didn't prioritize it over either of their supports. So while 86 felt pretty good about last game, he doesn't feel the need for the Invoker this time around. Instead, they'll look for something that can better deal with this Ursa. And they thought the Vengeful Spirit Witch Doctor were pretty good options. Well, actually, most of the Witch Doctor was the counter pick. Venge was preemptive. So I think the Witch Doctor will be able to mess with him sufficiently, break down his
team pick.
jumps, get the stuns, get the return damage, and that very well could be the case, but we'll have to see. Maybe having to go Ghost Scepters and stuff like that this game on heroes like Witch Doctor. Puck is going to be the final ban out here. They don't want that control, that Dream Coil. I didn't even think about that, but if you can't run from him with because of the Dream Coil, then yeah, Ursa's going to be able to lay into you pretty well. So they don't actually go for any heroes that keep Ursa alive. That's an important thing. There's nothing to keep Ursa surviving. There's no heals at all on the side of CDEC, but they do have Initiation. Axe blinking in, Storm Spirit balling forward, and Lina and Rubik as the supports that follow through with stuns. So some good potential here. I like the Storm Spirit in general. He did get some nerfs. A movement speed reduction of about 5, I believe.
10
I'll double check
seconds
that. And
remaining.
as well, the Ball Lightning doesn't give as much vision. But
5 seconds
let's see,
remaining.
yes, 285 movement speed now, and it's a very
Reserve
drastic
time.
reduction in Ball Lightning vision. So when he's flying across, instead of seeing at 1,000 radius, he only sees within 400. Only sees essentially within that animation plus a tiny bit of space there. So those nerfs aren't the best for him, and things are changing. I mean, the times are changing for items and different int core heroes, but Shiki is a really good Storm Spirit player, so in the end, I think it's going to be a pretty good pickup for him. And they go to the Shadow Fiend I was talking about earlier. I expected that to be their 3rd or 4th pick, probably 4th, but they go for it as their 5th pick. They get the Shadow Fiend, they get the Presence of the Dark Lord, with the Wave of Terror, with the Viscous Nasal Goo. All of this will be enhancing the Quill Sprays, the return damage from Centaur in some cases, but mostly right clicks and Death Ward. Right clicks and Death Ward doing so much damage here. All they have to do is control the Ursa, and I guess it's going to be on the Venge and Witch Doctor to try to do that. Otherwise they stampede and run for the hills. Which is another reason why the Puck would have been good. The Puck ban from Braveheart was actually really intelligent, because otherwise they would have been caught in the Dream Coil, they wouldn't be able to stampede, and they wouldn't be able to kite this blade-wielding
Prepare for
Ursa.
battle.
And there's another immortal for you. Not socketed just yet, but it is the Swift Claw from the Ursa. And these razor blades are going to be cutting deep, let me tell you guys. But we'll go ahead and go through some introductions. Again, a lot of people don't know these teams as well as they should. These guys are awesome, especially the side of CDEC. They've been pulling out some real big stops and taking some great games in recent times for Chinese Dota. And just this last game really pulled I don't know. I would have to say Braveheart whereas I didn't regard them as much. After that last game, you have to show them some respect. At least 86. At the very least, show 86 some respect, because he was just playing that hero so well, the Invoker from last game. That's playing the Shadow Fiend now. Going to be supported by both the Witch Doctor, playing 5 position, and what seems to be kind of a 4 position Venge. At least she's starting that way. Maybe she'll get boots, and then only buy support items for now, but they prioritize mobility on her. So Shura is going to be running on that Venge. Puerti, once again on the safe lane Centaur. That leaves Dog 7 to the off lane Bristleback, again with his Mango. And Bounty Rune for 86, whereas Shiki is going to be looking for his up top. Shiki's going to be going for Tangos, and 86 will as well, actually. Oh, XZ trying to snipe it. Goes for the call. He should be able to get the Bounty Rune. Times it well, but Shadow Fiend still gets the Bounty Rune, and now is triple raising him with the Magic Missile stun. Uphill miss, but the First Blood. And that is actually really bad for CDEC. They almost got the Bounty Rune, but not only did they fail to do that, but XZ fails to get away alive, giving First Blood to Shadow Fiend. So he starts off. I was going to say he was going to get some Tangos with the 100 gold extra he got. Shiki gets that healing salve, but Bottle is only 200 gold away. That's actually such a tough start for Shiki here in the mid. XZ is the Axe, who did end up feeding First Blood there. Aggressive is the Ursa. Q on the Rubik. And Lena's actually going to be played by Garter here, so we'll see what he can do. If there's any chance he can help Shiki in this laning configuration. We're looking for the Cory snipe. They know that the SF just got a ton of farm, so although he started with a Wraith Band, we're going to see Garter just camping things out for a while here and looking for that Courier. Has about a minute to wait before that Courier makes its move, but still, it would be huge if they could keep that Bottle away from the SF. And it almost seems like they have to get this Courier in order to bring this mid lane back. But we'll see. For now, Aggressive is up on the top lane, up against the Bristleback. This is weird to see the carry up here, but since they are going for kind of a pseudo-aggressive tri-lane, it makes a bit of sense. Sure, moving around with his boots, blocking the creep wave back, but in the end, still not going to get a Courier snipe, and they're going to move back where they can't actually scout it. So they're going to look for a kill instead, trying to say, okay, well, if not one, then just get the other. Can they tell me some down the river is what they need to do, but they're just too slow. 290 movement speed on the Rubik versus 305 on the SF. He's able to just do too much here. And we'll get... He's actually doing pretty bad on last hits. I will say that although he got the First Blood start, he didn't get Necromastery until level 2. So what that ends up meaning is that now he's got 4 last hits, but he's only got 3 stacks of Necromastery, and his last hit damage is pretty weak. Right now, Shiki has 66, plus potentially Overload for offensive CS. And right now, Shadow Fiend only has 51 plus 3, and then whatever he gets from Necromastery. Down bottom, another death of XZ. That was just a good combo of the... I can't believe it. My brain froze. I didn't want to, cheat and look at the skill name, but use the Paralyzing Cask, and they comboed it up with the Hoof Stomp. I don't know why I blanked on that one, but now we see the lift up onto Dog 7. He's going to be going down quickly, just getting torn into by this Ursa. The Ursa will fall back, though, and the sap pops out from Dog 7. He's actually going to be turning mangoes to get the kill. Oh no, Rubik, I don't have mana. Don't worry about me. Little old Bristleback chewing on some mangoes. Quill sprays down the Rubik. Oh boy, that's fun. Gonna see the Magic Missile attempt, but under the tower they don't feel comfortable. They won't go for another kill on XZ. But yeah, he just pops the sap, he survives just a little bit, and then Rubik's like, oh yeah, I can keep going. I can get another auto attack or two in. There's no way he'll get mana back instantly. 150. That's not new. But yeah, so Enchanted Mango doing some work there. Bristleback, Mango, new meta. 86 gonna get the double damage rune here. Shiki, I think, got a bounty. It looks like the bounty rune went to the Rubik. Not sure when he got that, but that's okay. And up top, just forcing back Dog 7 once again. He buys himself a new Mango. Gotta get that HP regen back up. I mean, this is double HP regen. That's still, I mean, from 1.1 to 2.1. That's a nice little boost. And Shadow Fiend's gonna get a kill. Storm Spirit, a little bit too slow on his feet. Hard to disengage from this lane without his level 6. It's just a movement speed issue. Sorry about the camera issues, guys. I don't know, I'm getting a little distracted. But Rubik is only level 1 here, so him and the Venge are going toe-to-toe. Level 1 supports, but Dog 7, if he gets some body blocks in, that's fine, or he might have to chew on some mango. The last quill spray is not enough. He'll mango again. Chomp, chomp. There it goes. He gets the last hit on the Rubik and barely gets out alive, actually. So, I think that mango was unnecessary. All he had to do was body block in the river, just while the Rubik is pathing this way. You just kind of stand in front of him, block him enough that they get the extra right clicks in. And then you don't need that last quill spray. But that's only because of the fact that Rubik is so slow, just in general. Still, that's going to be fine. 5 kills in favor of Braveheart. 5-0, in fact. The Ursa lineup is not finding kills, and that's actually a problem. They went for this aggro try, looking for blood on this top lane, and they've gotten absolutely nothing, even against the Bristleback, who's just been able to narrowly escape death multiple times. And Axe is forced to jungle, so that's not good for him either. The bottom lane is completely empty. I mean, this is the safe lane. This is the lane that is safe. This is where you get your farm, but as it is, Axe abandons it, and now just CDEC are falling drastically behind in golden experience, and they're going to continue to do so without getting any of these creeps. Nobody's getting any value out of this bottom lane. So they have to look for a kill, I guess. I mean, if they're not farming lanes, at least they're not farming one of their 3 lanes, then they have to focus on just getting a kill. Ball lightning play against 86 with the backup of the supports seems to be the ideal. They'll move back, but they don't have a smoke on the courier. So approaching against this observer ward, or with this observer ward, really difficult. And the rotation is clear. Dire observer ward scouts it out. They already have. This doesn't even block off camps, is the interesting thing. This lets camp spawn, but it's going to give the intel that they need to allow Puerti to make the right decision whether to stay on the lane. Right now, Puerti is at 1960 in terms of current gold, so really wants to build up towards that Blink Dagger and has to play a little safe in order to be confident in that. Ursa up top does have the enrage, so we'll have to keep an eye on him as he looks for one of those big claw kills. This guy, around like level 7, 8, and 9, he just like hits crazy power spike where if you can close the distance, he can kill just about anything. Raze is connecting on the Storm Spirit, Shiki being frustrated quite a bit by 86. And 86 has the Invis rune, so it's not like they can go on him unless he's within that radius of that Sentry Ward. Axe is just having such a slow roll. If you compare just the net worth of the Axe or the Centaur, they're both very reliant Blink initiators, and 1430 net worth versus 2790. Like, it's just night and day, the difference here between these two, and it really is these two that run parallel, generally speaking. Centaur and Axe should have about the same blink timing, but instead the Centaur is just miles ahead, and it's all due to this laning phase. They got 1 kill on XZ down in the bottom lane, they got 1 on the bottom rune, and the Axe is just petrified to feed any further. So, as a result, Puerti pulls ahead, and he's only 200 gold away from that Blink Dagger. And Shiki just eating more raises as the CS comes through for 86. He's pulling forward on a net worth up to 3,500. He actually gets a 900 net worth advantage. No ultimate skill just yet. And there's the Sentry Ward to mess with him. So he's going to be fine. Sentry Ward will make sure this Invis isn't really fruitful, but nevertheless, 86 is controlling this lane really well. His last hits have now moved up to 37 and 10, which is just neck and neck with the Storm in terms of last hits. But you'll notice that the SF has 10 more denies. Storm Spirit doesn't have as much incentive to go for denies, as he doesn't build Necromastery off of it, of course. But the big difference here is just denying the experience from that Storm Spirit, getting that second kill for himself in the mid, and then clearing out the stack. This is what separates the men from the boys here. They will be able to build up this Shadow Fiend to his mechanism so very quickly and start pushing together. I mean, once you have the Blink Dagger on the Centaur and then back on the SF, there's nothing to stop you from at least going 4-man Dota down a single lane. Axe dropping pretty low. Looks like a Culling Bladed a creep to finish it off, but in the end he's able to limp back home. And Garter is actually just doing what he can in the jungle as well. Up top, Aggressive gonna get stomped on. Double Edge coming through shortly. Oh, hits the creeps, not the Ursa, or maybe he enraged it. Either way, they're waiting out the enrage. Now they go Quill Spray and right click. So I'm actually curious if the Centaur got that double edge onto the Ursa and it was just mitigated that heavily. Well, that's a lot of time, but yeah, so double edge hit Ursa for 9 damage, guys. He hit him for 9 damage. Oh, hey, that's an auto attack. Where's the double edge? There it is. 48 damage for a double edge, thanks to that enrage. That's the ultimate we're working with here for this Ursa. For a 4-second period, he turns a damage nuke that starts out at 325 magical and turns it into a 48 damage received. So expect more of that. But still, he's at a really bad landing phase. The Ursa only at 3,200, barely able to hold net worth versus the Bristleback. They've got to go for something more, and it looks like they're going to go for Roshan. So we'll see. Maybe Shiki and Garter could go for a gank while Aggressive goes into the Roche pit. Or maybe they're just going to sit here and cover him. Nope, they're going to go for the gank. He's going to go for the solo Roche. They're going to kind of cover it up, scout things out, and know when somebody's approaching. And once this is like down to 2/3 HP, they can just jump onto the Witch Doctor and just distract and create space. So watch these enrage play here if Aggressive gets a chance. We're just going to zoom out a lot so that we can watch Alpar. Look, if he pops enrage, he actually just kills Roshan right now. But he'll play it patiently. The Furious Swipe's doing their thing. And in the end, it's going to be the Aegis picked up by Shiki. So quick ball in to make sure that is secured. For smoke down bottom, though, they're going to be able to jump on the Rubik here. Stampede seems unnecessary, but they'll get the kill one way or another, while the Stampede brings SF into a position where he can take down Garter. So maybe just getting a freebie off of that. No stun, no way to respond. 86 gets just to whack him down with a haste rune, actually. So I can't say that the Stampede really helped him either. So the only thing going for CDEC is the fact they were able to sneak Roshan. They got Roche, but they haven't gotten a single kill. And the Aegis is on the Storm, which, albeit, is much better than putting it on the Ursa, but still,
Radiant's bottom tower is under
the Ursa's not going to be able to really go very aggressive. He's just going to have to kind of chill it out.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Let's look at the net worth here. 2,200 in favor of Braveheart, 1,500 experience going the same way. No Vengeance Aura skilled up just yet, though. Kind of going for a mostly Wave of Terror, 2-4-0 build. So, gonna make the jump here onto the Bristleback. They don't have Blink Dagger though, so they have to pull him into the call, but they will choose his direction, make him faith the lightning, and that is gonna be bringing him low, but he's still alive! He magic sticks up, and they turn it around. Double edge onto the axe. Death Ward, Urn of Shadows onto Garter. Looks like he'll survive, and the ball in. Shiki exhausting all of his mana to get right onto the Witch Doctor, but down goes the good Doctor, and that's going to be a kill for Storm. So, building up their first kill of the game, points on the board, and the crowd goes wild. But now going to see the Mask of Madness on Aggressive, charging in 17% increased movement speed, and the Phase Boots on top, going in, but he needs the Earth Shock, only gets one hit in. Now the mech, now the Magic Missile, now they turn onto Aggressive. He pops in rage, goes for the TP, but he gets stunned and nuked down nevertheless. So, gonna clean up a ward too. Really good sentry from the Venge there. Obviously she thought the ward was here, but finds it to the south, and that's just really good. Knowing that CDEC are trying to gain kill momentum up top, and they're gonna ward behind the tower to do so. That was actually really good from sure. Double mech is a problem though, I will say that. Dog 7, Pure T, dropping down to the double edge on the creeps, but yeah. The Bristleback was going Mechanism. Might change his tune, but he was going Mechanism, and he probably sees that the SF already went one. So Crimson Guard it is as a fallback. Yeah, I'm totally planning to go Crimson Guard and Pipe of Insight, guys. Don't worry. It was all in the plan. Now, I'm sure he made the mistake, went for his traditional build of Mechanism, and is like, oh wait, we got one of those. What you mean he's already got one? That's a very bad accent and a Monty Python reference, but some of you guys might be a little young for that one. Anyways, barring that, we've got Yule Scepter coming out on the SF pretty soon, and it is going to be a Crimson Guard pursuit from Dog 7, so they can block some damage. Doesn't block counter helix anymore, just the right clicks, but still. When your enemy Ursa's got a Mask of Madness, he's going to be attacking pretty quick. Anything else interesting here? It doesn't really look like it. We'll see the banked gold on the center at 800 and be curious as to what he's looking for next, but I'm not sure if this is supposed to be read purty, like pretty, or if it's supposed to be pure T. Either way, it looks like it's going to be a kill attempt onto XZ. Gunnigan, the right click in, double edge, and whacks him down with the last double damage right click. So good kill there. Aegis is going to be expiring pretty soon. Looking at the timer, he's got 1 minute left on the clock. Let's see what Shiki does with it. Right now he's got a regen rune, he's got an Aegis, he's got mana, he's got level 11. This should be Shiki finding a kill. Like, with these items, you have to find something. And I think he's going to walk right into the SF, and we'll see how that pans out. Oh, the Yule Scepter up against Shiki could pop the Requiem on him, but he just pops the regen rune and goes off too swiftly with the Ball Lightning. The Remnant catching him. The Yules, he gets him. The Requiem coming across, perfectly timed. Forces the Aegis, wastes the regen, and down goes Shiki. Now again, he was going to lose that Aegis anyways, but still, that is just the intimidation factor at the very least. Very scary stuff. Axe with the Blink Dagger, picking it up in 15 minutes, a little late, but better late than never. He's going to look to make a play with it here on the mid lane. But another Yule's play, 86 going forward. Where's that call? Going to see the Laguna go down onto Shura, bringing him down quickly. They only call the Centaur though, and he's tanky on the front line. Death Ward coming down, killing off the Rubik, chasing down the Storm. He dies to the Malediction, and that's going to wrap it up. 1 for 2. Is the best they can hope for there. Oh, wow. So, that's going to be another good exchange for Braveheart. Looks like the Ursa is just going to keep farming, doing his thing. I'm not sure about the Mask of Madness, though, honestly, on the Ursa. Like, in general, I think it's fine. Obviously, Fierce Swipes isn't a unique attack modifier. Lifesteal is good. And he doesn't have to use the active when he's going to be taking damage. He could use it only when he enrages, for example. But generally speaking, I'm kind of of the mindset of Ursa has now become a little bit too squishy as a hero, and essentially he's going full glass cannon. Like, at this point you might as well like rush an Abyssal Blade. There's no point in going tank items and Mask of Madness. But we'll see. I don't know. I think he's relying a lot on his allies. He'll go BKB, Mask of Madness, and then maybe like an Abyssal or some other lockdown tool, a Scotty or something would be fine. But yeah. I think he's going to be pretty vulnerable when that Enrage is expiring. That's the only thing. Is essentially, I feel like Centaur is going to be able to Stampede during the Enrage, and anybody that's not caught in a Berserker's Call is going to be kiting the Ursa, and then once that Ursa's Enrage expires, then he doesn't really get that mitigation buff. He doesn't survive, and he goes down quick. But you never know. We'll see. It could progress towards something that could get them some real kills, so we'll see. 300 gold from Dog7's Crimson Guard. Gonna be seeing that come out pretty soon.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
5,200 gold in favor of Braveheart right now. But, I mean, we'll see about this next Roche. Maybe CDEC can sneak it again and really make something happen with that Aegis. Current levels, we've got level 7 Rubik. Not the end of the world for him to be only level 7. He'd love to be leveling up a bit more, but honestly, at least he's got his ulti. However, he is going up against level 13 Shadow Fiend, the Requiem at 36 souls. CDEC, they need to punish this SF. They need to cut his Necromastery stacks in half, and if he goes for the Ancients, they're going to be in a position to do it. He tries to go for, if it's a Black Drake spawn, that raise would stack, but since it's not, he's just going to be walking in. They're going to get the call. No, the self-fuels to block out the call. The telekinesis, though. Let's Shadow Fiend get torn apart. No, they're actually going to go for the Stampede and the Nether Swap away, and 86 survives with 85 HP. Now, looking at the potential initiation, I think they just kind of waited out. This is a spot where Roche is definitely not up yet. The timer is only going to kick in right now. So they can kind of just play it safe and say, okay, we saved the SF. They use the Nether Swap out, they use the Stampede, they save SF's life, but Shiki will find an easy pick onto the Centaur. The Radiant Observer Ward here, giving them intel, and Shiki walking it in. Not in the best spot here now, but he just goes for the ball TP away. The Yule Scepter going to be just out of range. And Dog7 makes his move onto the Ursa, who went for Overpower. Mask of Madness wants the tower and will get it. But now he's hit by the Viscous Nasal Goo, and that'll keep on stacking. Shock connects onto the bristleback, but it's only level 1. Doesn't really stop him. He pops the Enrage, but they just use it. That's another way to wait out the Enrage. Nice. And they'll be able to bring him down. So yeah, until he gets the BKB, they can just use the Enrage, and that takes out, well, 2.5 out of the 4 seconds. Really, just messes with this Ursa quite a bit. Shiki might look for a tower deny here, from balling across. He can just kind of zip down the hill, attack in between, look for the flashy play, but otherwise he's just going to look to farm up the enemy jungle because that's a safe play to go for. Roche respawns pretty early here, and it looks like they want to do it. Yeah, with the Ursa down, it's probably smarter to take the Roche while they can, so they don't risk CDEC taking it for themselves. But for now, it's going to be 86 farming up the Ancients, looking for his BKB, and not much else. Gonna see nothing. So, right now they smoke up. Will they go for the Roshan play is the question. Right now, Dire Observer Ward, this isn't the best ward to see everything coming. Like, they're only gonna have intel right when they hit here and here. Axe can still blink from this part of the Radiant Jungle. There's a couple of ways to enter into this pit, but it looks like CDEC want none of that. They're going over here, just team farming the Ancients, taking down one set of neutrals while Braveheart take the bigger one. Aegis going to be going to SF most likely, and with that and the BKB, he's going to be pretty monstrous. Bloodstone does finally come out for Shiki, so that's something in his favor. A little bit of momentum there, and I'll give you guys net worth. I'm sure there's some rioting for that. So right now, 10.7k net worth on the Shadow Fiend, nearly 8k on the Storm, and 7,100 on the Centaur. But a fight hasn't broken out in quite some time here, and we're still waiting for the next jump. Until then, we're just seeing kind of a farm fest where they trade off. Ursa and SF are going to get BKBs out of it. Storm gets a Bloodstone while Centaur gets an Axe, is essentially the end result of all this farming. But Tier 1 top goes down, Tier 1 mid as well, and it looks like they're going to force the issue at this Tier 2. Eul Scepter's not up for the Lina yet, though. She's going to get it here on the Courier, and that's going to give her an opportunity to actually make some plays. So we'll see if she can actually bring anybody down with it. SF's pretty much impossible once he gets that BKB, but there are alternatives for sure.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
For now, though, they take the Tier 2, they back it up. No problem at all, and Shiki kind of does his little split push thing while he has that mobility, as well as these really good Observer wards. These wards show the rotation towards that top lane. Shiki knows when he can go for a pickoff, when he's safe to farm. XZ, though, loses his Blink Dagger to the Wave of Terror and has to jump away quick. They're stampeding. I don't know if they're going to really get anything out of this, but they will try. Trying to get in range for the Axe, who's already made his escape. Nice juke, too. He's got the TP scroll, so juking all the way into the trees. They expect him to go for the side chop, but with the scroll in hand, he's fine to go anywhere he wishes, and he wishes to go back to the base. Anything else? Not seeing much. Oh, just really toned down. Like, we saw all this kill action here from the Dire. They were pulling ahead really well at this 11-minute mark, and then you kind of see, like, a tower here, a tower there. No kills. Just Braveheart building themselves up for a really good spot in this game. I mean, once the Bristleback hits 16, he's going to have a lot of offensive potential. And I'm curious if he actually goes for not just the medallion.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Thanks for that. I'm going to go ahead and go offline on Steam. And we'll... Oh, you guys don't see that. That's good. Okay. I'm glad you guys don't see that, but never mind. OBS. Their game source actually doesn't pick up Steam stuff. That's cool. Anyways, back to what I was talking about here. We will see the Medallion of Courage for sure, but I'm curious if he actually upgrades it to this new item here, the Solar Crest. The Solar Crest combines both evasion with Medallion of Courage, so not only can you take away 10 of somebody's armor instead of just the 7, but you also give them a 30% mischance. You put that on the Ursa, and he's near useless. Now, I'm actually curious if this goes through BKB, because Medallion of Courage goes through BKB. But the 30% mischance, that seems like something that's really powerful to just be completely ignoring a Black King bar. But we'll see. Maybe it's going to be the trick. Maybe that's the Ursa counter right there. And we'll have to see. I know there is another Ursa counter when he doesn't have match community. Silver Edge is actually really good against him because when you go for that first right click out of Invis, it actually breaks the target's passive. It used to be called a mute, now it's called a break. And what it does is it takes Fury Swipes away, as well as reduces his outgoing damage. So if you get a Silver Edge on like the Shadow Fiend, you right click the Ursa once. If he doesn't have BKB, or he's already used his BKB, then he's stuck without Fury Swipes for that duration. It's like 5 or 6 seconds. So that's going to be one answer. We'll see if this Crimson or Valor thingy is another one. Again, still not too familiar with that item in particular. It's one I haven't tried out yet.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Axe going to be looking for an opening here. Gonna get the call onto the thin air, and with the call on cooldown, he'll be swapped back in. They're easy peasy gonna take him down. With the axe dead, they're going in deep. They're gonna go for a 3-man hoof stomp. Huge play from the centaur, and no buyback yet from the axe. It's so delayed. Aggressive now going in with the enrage. Evaporates the SF, but he's coming back up with the Requiem. They've got to do some more damage with Aggressive. BKB is traded out back and forth, but he goes down in the end. There's Shadow Fiend, the Swagger Fiend. And he pops the raise, so that is not a spell stolen by Q. So they force 2 buybacks. They die back on the axe. The Ursa goes down, and Braveheart walk away. They did lose 4 heroes, including the Aegis, but I still feel that's pretty favorable for them. Even if they give some experience, the fact that the Lina loses so much, the axe loses so much, it really hurts the economy of CDEC. So we're going to see them pull ahead here, down to the tier 3s, and we do see Shadow Fiend just cleaning some shard golems up.
A lucky find.
Aghanim Scepter up for the Centaur after the Blink Dagger. This is, I think, build will become a little bit more common in the future. Like, you still can go for Cloak if there's some good magical damage coming out, because you obviously are double-edging yourself. They will get the Magic Missile. I don't think they get Shiki, though. The ball's still a little bit too far. He's a little tanky with that Bloodstone. But in the mid, this is a little bit different. Dog 7 going to get caught out hard, and Aggressive just goes for some beastly right clicks. Every auto attack proccing the Quill Sprays as he's doing over 250 damage per hit. But you see that Enrage and the Overpower going out, and Aggressive is actually going to just destroy 86 with the help of the call. He's dunked down, but we see the return with the Witch Doctor ticking down the Malediction. He gets a double kill for himself. Centaur Warrunner running around, no HP, but doesn't seem like Shiki's gonna like ball across on that. In fact, he's out of mana, balling away. So yeah, the Ursa gets the man up there and is actually able to get some good kills for himself. Unfortunately, still dying. He doesn't really profit from it. It's his allies that really pull a step ahead after they Bristleback and Shadow Fiend go down. So, great Death Ward, great Malediction coming in from the Witch Doctor. Really good play from him, but this BKB from the Ursa is starting to get toned down a little bit. Down to 8-second duration. And what is he going to be going for? Abyssal, I think? Yeah, Abyssals make sense here. So we're going to be seeing the BKB likely coming out from XZ. Aghanim Scepter for Garter and the Lina. Perhaps a Shiva's Guard on Puerti. Could also go for the Lotus Orb here. That would be really good against Laguna Blade, decent against Culling. They fixed the Spellsteal interaction, so you can't really echo the Spellsteal. But we're going to see actually jump here onto Sure. They steal the Weird Tear. They kill him off quickly. They pop the BKB and Enraged, though. Oh, wow, aggressive. That seems a bit much. Yeah, he popped Mask of Madness, BKB, and Enrage. He really wanted that kill, and he probably thought there were more people there. That's the only real assumption you can make. But in the end, trading the BKB charge for the Venge that was already dead to rights, it's Braveheart that are okay with that, and in fact, might go and punish Aggressive now. He's on the creep wave, he has no Enrage, he's going to get double edge, but this is a distraction as it's actually 86 that gets hit up by the Lina. They comboed it up against him, now they're stampeding onto Aggressive, no bounce back on the paralyzing cast, but they're still getting good damage from the Death Ward. So Dog 7 will look to pursue, and they connect with another Hoof Stomp. Puerti just manipulating the battlefield really well, controlling the Ursa, Gets 2 hoof stomps to 1 stampede and locks him in place.
Bottom tower
The
has
tower will fall down bottom, but I think Braveheart pretty happy to once again bring down the Ursa and also to keep SF alive. He dropped really low there, but Lina, even him hitting with the Laguna Blade, it just wasn't enough to bring him down, despite a good jump from him and Storm. And he does go for the solar, solar crest. So we're gonna see this shine effect go and kind of see this new item take effect against the Ursa directly. And of course, you could also just put it on the ally and give them evasion directly. So if you can, whether or not you can use this on a BKB target, you definitely can use it on your ally, and you can kind of make it so that Ursa can't focus on a specific target. So we'll see more from that in the near future. Does it even say like what it? Okay, so it doesn't tell you what it pierces, but if it pierces through magic immunity, that's a really cool item, and for very cheap. It only costs him 3,000, and he's got now 30% miss chance for 7 seconds on the Ursa, as well as -10 armor. It just makes it so easy to work around him. And they get the Death Ward up for the Witch Doctor as well. So really, really good stuff. Aghanim Scepter, Death Ward. I don't think I need to tell you guys how good that is. That's going to be a scary thing to go up against on the side of CDEC. They're kind of spreading the map, trying to farm themselves up. Aggressive, he needs several thousand net worth to really catch up in this game. It's they're starting to get completely outclassed item-wise, and they just, I mean, as much spreading the map as you want to do, as much economy gain as you're trying to recover, in the end, it's Braveheart to just take Roche and probably look to go high ground right off of that. SF picks up the Aegis. He's got his 7-second BKB, Sanjin Yasha Mechanism. These are all items that you want to use now. You don't want to wait 45 minutes where you have to start selling your Mechanism and selling your Sanjin Yasha and filling that 6-item slot. You pretty much just want to push it in with this kind of build. You don't buy 4,200 gold items just to sell them 15 minutes later. So this is about where 86 is going to be. Is there an AC coming up anytime soon? It doesn't look like it. Maybe QWERTY could buy one. He's still got 2,600 gold. Calm before the storm. We have our big fight coming up pretty soon. Braveheart. They're looking really strong, but still, CDEC are holding in there. I mean, they're keeping the gold disadvantage to a minimum, the experience as well, and they've won a few engagements. I mean, they've gotten 10 kills. The Blink Dagger up in the Rubik gives Q some possibilities here, and he's actually going to be going very far forward just to do some split push. They see everybody up top, they go for the push in mid and bot, and they try to make it so that Braveheart have to eventually go on the defensive. They have to pull somebody back, and in doing that, they kind of buy themselves a little bit more time against that Aegis the Immortal. But for now, it's not going to be Braveheart to back down. They go right on the front line here, and they're ready to go up to the tier 3 tower. They've got the level 2 nether swap in case things get dicey. So Dog 7 and 86 both go up to the high ground here. Shiki not balling for the fountain just yet. He could be kind of zipping back and forth, but his regen is only at 23, so it takes a while when you're in that fountain. And he's got the regen rune, so tries to go for a nice little pick there. Electric Vortex on 86 maybe, but he falls back, and it's back to the stalemate. Slow sieging the high ground. They're taking down over 700 HP off of this tier 3 tower. Glyph not available, actually expended, and they're going to be down for 4.5 minutes. This gives Braveheart a pretty big opening here, as long as XZ doesn't make a gigantic blink call. But we're going to see jump here. Electric Vortex, no swap out just yet. Now the nether swap pulls 86 back, but we're actually going to see the nether swap stolen back the other way. Crimson Guard coming out. Stampede, not the best Stampede, to be honest with you. And this is a pretty big cooldown now with that Aghanim's effect. I mean, that is a 70% damage reduction, and you're able to run through obstructions, such as cliffs. So the fact that they pop that there, they might actually have to wait not just this creep wave for the next one. Storm jumping in, gonna try to force some more damage onto 86 here. Aggressive, running right in with the BKB active. They're gonna force the Aegis here, for sure. And now they're gonna go for the next one. The Death Ward only hitting on Ursa for now. No bounces, and it's not going to do much. The ultimates are not doing too good for Braveheart, and XZ gets a good taunt. They're actually going to go Blink Stop onto XZ, bring him down quickly, and now Storm on the back line, bringing down the Witch Doctor. But trying to burst down the front line target, that's the Centaur, using up the A Bristleback, he's going to be the one to go down to the Fury Swipes if they can't control Aggressive. But there's just too much evasion on the Bristleback, and he's going to be able to survive. In fact, turning it against Alina, bringing her down. Double buyback. Suddenly the fight turns. The Crow Sprays just keep stacking up, and then the Requiem comes out at the same time, and suddenly they're just blown apart. It's a triple buyback. They're doing everything they can here to hold it together on the high ground. Aggressive, popping everything. The Enrage, the Overpower, now looking for the Mask of Bandits just to finish him off, but it makes him so squishy, and he just gets clicked down. Shiki on the run, his armor and his attacks broken. Now in retreat, just unable to do anything. It's the shiny Solar Crest that helps them win this out in the end. So that's going to be a very nice movement from Braveheart. They take this game away, and that gives them a 2-0 over CDEC. It seems like every matchup that used to be considered one team having an advantage over the other is flipped topsy-turvy. It really is just the reverse all-kill coming in from the underdogs. And we're seeing that all over the place. From Energy Pacemaker, we're seeing it from Braveheart, and heck, we might be seeing it in our next series. Our next match for today, guys, is going to be Vici Gaming versus Tong Fu. If there's any underdog matchup that would be amazing to see an upset, that would be it. Tong Fu winning out over Vici. But, 6.84 may be crazy, but I still think Vici is an incredible team. So we'll see how well their strats have been prepared over these past 2 days to go into this next match. But for now, let's wrap up Team Braveheart versus CDEC. Great play from the Shadow Fiend, from the Centaur. Some really good movement from him across the map, and I really like the item build from Dog 7. After he dropped the mechanism plans, he was able to fall back on some really good items that were of great value to the team, and they take it away in 34 minutes and a half. So that's going to wrap it up for this series here. 2-0 in favor of Braveheart. They take out CDEC, and we're going to be going into our next match for the day. Scheduled in about 12 minutes time, we're going to be looking at Vici Gaming versus Tong Fu. I don't actually know if Vici Gaming have played a 6.84 match yet. It's very possible, but I'll double check into it. I'll let you guys know at the beginning of that draft what they've been drafting in 6.84, if anything, and we'll be seeing an awesome game on our hands. I think this will be really fun. Seeing Ice on some new heroes, all of Vici Gaming, really. It's just going to be really fun. So please join me for Vici vs. Tong Fu coming up in just a few minutes. Also, if you enjoyed the commentary, look me up on twitter.com/blazecasting. This wasn't the most intense cast. I mean, really, it was kind of a slow roll for Braveheart, but it still was pretty fun. And if you did enjoy it, please let me know, or send me some feedback or some constructive criticism if you did not, over on @blazecasting. But of course, check out BeyondTheSummit.tv, the coverage hub for all BTS tournaments, and we'll be seeing you guys in about 10 minutes time for Vici Gaming versus Tong Fu. Take care.